Oh, we are just a couple weeks away from the beginning of Labyrinth and Cataclysm. I thought that I should probably explain to you what the Corner of Secrets is, because if you've just watched the prologue or you've seen the clips, you might be wondering why we have two sets and why the party gets split between them sometimes. I have done the Corner of Secrets since I started DMing about 4 years ago. I'm not the first person to do something like this in D&D. I heard about it from, I think, a combination of like Jenny D and Matthew Colville, but I think I commit to it more than most. Definitely more than like anyone who's doing actual plays. I don't know about like independent people on their own during home games, but as far as what I can tell from the internet, I do it way more than most people. The first important thing to establish when talking about why I use the Corner of Secrets is to establish a reason that is not the reason why I do it. I do not do the Corner of Secrets because I'm afraid of metagaming. I do not really care about metagaming, or cheating for that matter. D&D is not a competitive game, and I consider it a compliment if someone is thinking about my game enough to start metagaming, right? Like if you're home at night, hours after a D&D session, you're like, oh, Grant mentioned a beholder thing. I should Google what that is. And then you accidentally find out it's a horrific thing. Number one, I'm surprised you didn't already know what a beholder is. But also, yeah, that's a compliment to me. You were focusing on the thing I created hours after it existed. I'm not going to be mad about that, even if it results in you having an easier time in a combat. In the 4 years that I have been DMing, I've only really needed to like shut down metagaming once. And what it was is that I accidentally, while doing the Corner of Secrets, said that the thing being summoned was a Tarask and not the name I had been using for it. And I needed to ask them not to tell the other players they were talking about a Tarask this whole time. I have a number of reasons. So if I do not care about metagaming, then why do I do the Corner of Secrets? I have a number of reasons I do the Corner of Secrets, 3 specifically. And it's that the Corner of Secrets farms engagement, number 1. Number 2, it creates the most genuine version of what will you do in the dark possible in TTRPGs. And secrets are fun, and it promotes way more dramatic storytelling to do the Corner of Secrets, at least in my opinion. How does the Corner of Secrets farm engagement? By taking a player away from the table and role-playing with them, it makes them focus on that more than if they were just sitting at the table. So if I'm calling out like something from their backstory, they're more likely to pick up on it without me needing to like flat out say it. And I can flat out say it. Other than like when you're at the table, it's really awkward to maybe like, this is the person who murdered your sister. Because then every single person who is sitting there role playing with you in their mind knows this person killed their sister. They're going to be like emotionally unstable towards them. Where I think it's more fun for someone just to start being emotionally unstable towards a person, and then you need to figure out why. It also serves as a wake-up call, sort of like a musical sting to all of the players at a table, right? Like when the DM takes one of the players out of the room to fill their heads with secrets and sin, it gets their attention. They're wondering what's happening. They're up out of their phones for once in the session, and I'm not even at the table anymore. Because like I've left, and that's a thing to take note of. And it also signifies what's happening as a thing of importance, which means they'll probably care more about the thing they're not allowed to know than anything I've said at all during the session in front of them. This, along with randomly rolling and then laughing maniacally behind the screen, is 2 of my favorite things to do, just to like punch players in the gut and get them to start paying attention again. What you do in the dark is a trope from fiction that asks what a character does when they're on their own. It's easy to do the right thing when you are surrounded by others and the consequences are low. But what will you do when you are on your own? In D&D, this applies not only to the characters, but to their players themselves. If you make an offer for the warlock to sacrifice the entire party to their patron and become a demigod, and you do this at the table with their friends around them, they will almost immediately start begging them not to do it, which is a fair response. But that also means the player never truly gets to even consider doing that. But if you take them out into the hallway, and then you make that same deal to them, not only are they considering it, but they might do it. Right? It gives them the ability to do it without doing it in front of their friends. I think the Corner of Secrets makes it easier to have more dramatic roleplay. The Corner of Secrets allows intense, intimate moments to be intense and intimate. Right? If a character or a small number of characters leave the group to have a conversation with the villain or a group, it's much more intense for both parties involved if they're actually separated. Because the people not in the conversation have no idea how the conversation is going. Their friends could be in the middle of a fight being murdered right now, and they would have no way of knowing, metagaming or otherwise. And the people who are doing the talking no longer have access to like a whole half, if not more, of resources. Right? They can no longer ask the wizard to make an intelligence check for them. They have to do it themselves. It shuts off their resources in a way that's really engaging and interesting to me. I would warn you, though, that with the great power of the Corner of Secrets comes great responsibility. I have used it for evil a great many times. I must repent for my sins on a daily basis. I had a party literally go to war with itself. Go to war with, not like have a little fight, not fight each other like in a combat. They literally separated for 3 sessions, independently without knowing the other group was doing this, raised armies, and went to war with each other. This was motivated and able to happen because the Corners of Secrets allowed the party to scheme without other members of the party knowing, and then they physically split for a long time, so they were in the Corner of Secrets for a lot of what was happening. So, when should you use the Corner of Secrets? It's hard to give a binary scale of when to use it and when not to use it, because it's just the sort of thing you get a feel for. Right? It's impossible to use it completely wrong, and it's impossible to use it completely correctly. Just do it, and eventually you'll get really comfortable with it. I am. I got there after like a year. It's never just like a binary yes or a binary no. I use it usually to tell very important ability checks. And I think it's a good way of, they give me the answer in private, I give them the answer in private. So then the players have to trust the other players and not the DM. Right? Because the DM often is sort of seen as the voice of God. And when I can remove that from a player speaking, I think that's an important thing to do. I also do it whenever the party's physically split on different events. If they're all split in the same ball, there's no reason to split the party because they're still close enough to see what others are doing. They're all in one big room. So even though they're not speaking to each other, they can still intervene if they want to. Whereas like if you're in completely different buildings or completely different towns, or someone's in the Underdark and you're preparing to go to war with yourselves, it's a very different sort of event. Also, a lot of the times I'll do stuff in Corner of Secrets and then just slowly it drifts into all being in the table because 2 events are coming together. And that's always a lot of fun. Also, if they have any form of communication, like a sending stone, it complicates the Corner of Secrets. Because it is sometimes worth it to split it, have them speak, and then make them say it into the sending stone. But a lot of the time, there's ways, it's easier to just say that everyone's talking freely and do it all at the table. It's really sort of on a sending stone basis. So this is the Corner of Secrets and how you can use it and why I use it. Hopefully you will be less confused when watching Labyrinth and Cataclysm and seeing me randomly summon people into a different set for some reason. If you like the idea of the Corner of Secrets, or if you have anything to add about it, tell me. If you think it's the dumbest fucking idea you've ever heard from a moron who should never play D&D or talk about it again, tell me in the comments. I'll love to read that. And yeah, have a great day, everybody.